everyone, it's Lindsay, and here's my ever adorable and annoying co-host Bibbi. He's here for the comic relief, and I'm sure you'll see why. I'm trying to lose my last 20 to 25 pounds. I predominantly follow a whole food plant-based diet, but I definitely have issues where I still get tripped up and end up eating dairy from time to time. I just don't keep it in my house at all. First things first, I'm gonna show you the weigh-in. So last week I weighed 155.4 and this week I'm down to 154.8, so a loss of 0.6 pounds. I just want to throw out there that my official weigh-in is Sunday, and that was yesterday morning. As I'm shooting this, my weight has already shot up 4 pounds since yesterday. So I just want to throw that out there because I know a lot of people get tripped up when their weight fluctuates. I know that it's largely due to PMS and the fact that I kind of tripped up last night and I had pizza. And I know for a fact that that just elevates my weight. But I'm not worried about it because pretty much the whole rest of the week I ate well, and I'm expecting to have this all drop off next week. So this week's video, I just wanted to share 5 tips on losing weight. Kind of tips that I use over the years of weight loss. So just to give a little background, at my heaviest I was probably around 225. I would say my average adult weight though was more around 185. So 30 pounds heavier than I am today. I feel like weight loss for me is different this time. I don't think I'm going back. And maybe that's overly optimistic, but because I have gone up and back and forth a little bit, but I feel like every time I do this, I'm learning more and I'm getting better at it. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to get straight to the tips. So, Bibbi, excuse me, sir. First tip is a very typical tip, and it's just drink lots of water, because it is such a true tip. It will help you stay full if you drink lots of water, and staying full will keep you from going off track and overeating. Belly full of water, you're way less likely to just reach for something convenient. And if you're like me and you hate water, just add a fruit flavoring to it. I use Tang a lot of times. I use Kool-Aid. It's like 0 calorie Tang, 0 calorie Kool-Aid. That gets me by. And it's better than drinking soda, which will make me bloated and all that. So that's it. Tip number 1, drink water. Okay, we're going to peek under Bibbi's little belly here. And tip number 2 is to change your habits gradually. So like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, but one thing's for certain, my habits have definitely changed gradually. If you looked at my diet 14 years ago, for example, it's way different than it is today. I used to eat the standard American diet. I quit eating meat because I don't want to support the animal agriculture. I have had trouble cutting out dairy, but I did it very gradually. I first just cut out meat and was most meat, but then I was eating fish for a long time, and then after that I cut out fish and I was eating strictly vegetarian diet for a long time, and then I've slowly eaten like less cheese, less eggs, less of the stuff that falls under vegetarian. Everything in my house is plant-based. So the times that I slip up on sticking with plant-based is usually when I'm out into the world, or in moments like last night where I get the idea of pizza in my head, because one thing that they haven't gotten right is vegan cheese. It's not the same. And cheese can be very addictive and hard to give up. So that's where I'm at, but it's been very, very gradual. I guess my main gist, though, with changing habits gradually are if you're just slowly add more vegetables. Like if you don't eat vegetables at all right now, just slowly add vegetables, cram them into the foods that you want to eat, and then eventually you will start to like vegetables. I used to, put a lot of butter on, like, say, my broccoli, for example, and now I never use oil or butter. I don't need it. I just sprinkle a little bit of salt and I can eat steamed broccoli, and I'm pretty happy with that. I don't mind the taste. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but it's not bad. And that leads to my third tip, which is to eat a 50-50 plate. And by a 50-50 plate, and like I said, you can work up to this. I mean, half non-starchy vegetable, half starchy vegetable. And so I might eat half a plate of broccoli, half a plate of potatoes, something real simple, easy to make. And I eat the broccoli first, and then I eat the potato. Sometimes I have it all mixed together. But what that does is it helps me feel full and satisfied. So I told you it was a nuisance. She's like grabbing at me right now. It helps you stay full and satisfied, and also adds so much more nutrition to what you eat. Fourth tip that Bibbi's blocking. Keep a routine for food and for exercise. And so what I mean by that is consistently, same times a day, same days of the week, keep a routine. So for example, with me, I eat the same time most days. I try and stay pretty consistent with it, and I eat my breakfast at noon, my lunch at 5 p.m., and my dinner at 10 p.m. That's because I'm kind of on a second shift type schedule. Doing that will keep me from snacking in between. So I just try and stay consistent with that. It keeps me from getting too hungry, and if I stay pretty satisfied, I'm less likely to grab something that's easy and maybe less healthy. The same thing with exercise. I have personally kept a routine with working out with a personal trainer. I'm very lucky to be in that situation that I can afford that. I just decided health was a priority, and that was something that helps me stay on track. It's something I enjoy doing, and therefore it's sustainable. But I have a set schedule for whenever I do that. Having a routine of workout to do every week, like certain days of the week, something that's manageable, something that you enjoy doing. It doesn't have to be anything extreme. It could just be like going for a walk with a friend. It could be skating. I've done that before, something that you're going to sustain forever, because you don't need to, it's not like you do these things and you lose the weight and then you just stop doing them. These are habits that you need to have for life, to stay active and to eat well. So find something that you like to do, not something that feels like torture. That brings me to my fifth tip, which is to continue to learn and eat for your health. So one thing that helps me stay motivated is to learn why it's important to eat vegetables on a regular basis, how it affects your health. And I've recently been listening to the audiobook The China Study, which compares the standard American diet to the diets of people over many Asian countries, where the significant difference is meat consumption. In America, we consume significantly more meat than in Asian countries, and a lot of the diseases that we have are directly correlated to meat consumption. And there's not a lot of info, like, I guess, readily put out there about that, but I've just slowly been learning more and more about that. And go do your own research. Just make sure it's not funded by the meat industry. That's all I can say. Because things are heavily influenced in this country. But if you look at across the globe who are the heaviest people, I think it makes it worthwhile to look into. So I would just recommend the China study or the starch solution, which is maybe a lighter version of the China study. But it's just kind of interesting to see how much food affects our health. And I think the thing that's kind of similar about the China study and the starch solution is both people that have written these books, they're written by two different authors that are doctors, are that they grew up thinking one way about food and they had to change the way they looked at food based on the evidence that time and time again they came across and how it was affecting people's well-being. My little baby. So those are my tips. Hopefully they help somebody out there. Because they help me. I just need to get more consistent, but I'm getting there. Right, little bee? So if you made it this far, I don't know, you want to hang out a little longer, I'm just going to tell you some of the stuff I've been up to lately, what I've been doing. Got a little bit further on painting my house, had a couple nice days this past week, which was nice. Since I got back from Memphis, I've been learning a little bit more about the Underground Railroad, just because it was interesting, some of the things I learned at Slave Haven. So I watched some stuff about Harriet Tubman, and then I watched this thing called America in Color, which is on Paramount Plus. I recommend that. That was pretty interesting to watch. It kind of makes things seem more real. Like, it'll show video footage from the 20s and whenever they were doing the prohibition and breaking all the glasses of wine, but it's all colorized. Somehow it just seems more real. So I recommend that. My brother-in-law had told me about this video series called Tales from the Tour Bus, and it's I think it's by the guy that did The Simpsons. It's by, I'm not 100% sure, but I'll link one of the videos below just in case anyone's curious. But I started watching those, which led me to start listening to the band from like the 60s or whatever, or 70s, whatever time frame, called Funkadelic, and Parliament and George Clinton. And I've been listening to Funkadelic like every day this week. It's my favorite thing to listen to when I paint, when I clean. It's just, I love it. So now I'm like way into that. Jeff and I started cleaning out the basement, so that was exciting. And now here I am, it's Monday, and tomorrow I start a new semester of school, which I'm not really looking forward to. But I am looking forward to the opportunity to finish my degree. It's just those baby steps getting there where I'm like, oh, I'm going to be busy doing this, and I have to force myself to do it, but I'm grateful for the opportunity at the same time. So school starts tomorrow, and I have a full semester, 12 credit hours. It might be 11 actually, because one's a 2 credit hour course. And so I got that going starting tomorrow. And just got to get in a new routine. Anyways, that's all I got for today. Just thought I'd share a few updates on like what my interests have been lately, and Bibbi really wants me to feed him. So thank you all for watching, especially if you've made it this far, because this is sometimes can get a bit rambly. I'll see you all next week.